Okay guys, so I'm out here in the greenhouse and I'm just looking at my fig tree, and I've just straightened it up to water it, and I noticed that it seems quite loose in the soil there, so I'm thinking that I've got it quite over potted at the moment, so or there's something else going on, even though it looks healthy and it's got lots of figs on there. I can't remember how much root it had. It was a cut-in a few years ago, believe it or not. So what I want to do is get it out of the pot and just have a look at the roots, see if there's anything I need to do. I kind of want to change the angle a bit as well, because I like to replant it sort of that sort of angle ideally, but I'm not sure yet. And I've just been and found a washing up bowl. This was £1 from the pound shop, and I've melted some holes in the bottom. I'll show you that. And then I got carried away and decided to spray paint it grey with that primer. And I keep touching it and bits are coming off on my hand, so whatever. I just didn't want it to be bright white, kind of stuck out a bit. So, and they only had white ones. If you're just thinking why didn't I just buy a grey one or a brown one or whatever, the white ones were what they had and they were £1. Anyway, so let's get this down onto the floor and get it out of the pot and have a look at the roots. Right, I've kind of had to stick you down there, so I'm not sure what sort of view you're going to get, but I just want to show you me taking this out of the pot, because it can be quite a difficult thing to do sometimes. This one looks particularly wobbly in there for some reason. I don't want to break too much, so ideally I would want to get it out of the pot with the root ball all intact. So I'm going to try and kind of tip all the weight of the soil onto my hand and then wiggle the pot off and then put that bit down. And kind of pull the pot off. So it's got a lot of soil, but not too many roots that I can see, and this is all quite loose still, so I'm thinking I have got it over potted quite a lot. And that may be why it's struggling a bit, because it's staying too wet in there, especially when it was outside. In the greenhouse I've had it this year and I can control the water, so it's done better. So I don't think it needs such a huge pot. I don't know what these weeds are that grow in here. They're probably something quite nice. Nice little plants, but they're obviously not wanted there. This is like some sort of clover. It's a shame to put it up, but there you go. Small clover. No 4-leaf ones that I can see. So all I do now is knock all this soil off, the excess soil, and we'll see if we can get it in that washing up bowl. Hopefully by the time I've got the soil down and the roots down, we might be able to. So I'll carry on with this on a time lapse or something. I won't bore you. Sometimes I like to take my time. It's not to break too many roots and stuff, and it can take me ages sometimes. Okay guys, so I'm almost there with these roots. I didn't intend to bare root it, but I ended up pretty much bare rooting it, only because when I started getting towards the middle here, I noticed it was all wet and a bit soggy. Sorry, a bit soggy in there. So I've been trying to get all this wet stuff out from the right near the trunk in the middle here, and anything that's rotting. There's some dead roots in there as well. So I think this is the old compost or mud from where it was originally planted before it was in that pot, because I had it as a cutting. So whatever soil I used when I took the original cutting is still right in there, and obviously it's growing okay, but it is staying wet right in the middle there. So I've ended up bare rooting it almost completely, and but never mind, I kind of wanted to anyway, to see what's happened, and it's looking really good. There's loads of roots on here. This was a cutting, like I said. It would have been quite a bit smaller, and I didn't exactly take it intending for it to be a cutting. It just was a branch from a fig tree that my in-laws own in their garden. So I just took a cutting and planted it, and it grew. And I've taken multiple cuttings from this. I did have two big ones like this, but one died last year I think, because we had a really harsh winter. So I'm going to carry on with this, and I'll put it up on the bench and we'll have a look. Right, so I'm going to dunk it in here and give it a good old swish around. Getting my feet wet. Trying to get all the soil out from right in between there. We'll just redo the whole soil. Look at that. There's a lot of roots. So I'll put that back in there on the bench, and we'll have a look. So what I'm going to do is mix a bit of compost in with the old soil, along with some grit. Quite a bit of grit in there just to make it drain really well. And I'm mixing this up on my greenhouse floor at the moment, so it's the only place which is dry and warm that I can do it at the moment. So I'll just mix that up. Probably won't use all this, it's just easier just to do it down here on the floor, and then I can use what I want. So I'll fill this up a little way, and we'll have a look at the tree and see if we can get it in the pot nicely. Okay, so first thing I want to do is have a look at the roots on it. Sorry for the angle again guys, we're a bit close in here. Try and move you a bit. How's that? Bit better. So we've got loads of roots in here. Don't want to cut too much at the moment. Picked up a bit of wire there. So obviously being a cutting, the root system's looking pretty good. There's a couple of weird high up ones here. Not too bad there. I might just cut that one off. It's kind of poking up. And this one here, I'm going to cut right back. There's also one poking up the top there. Get rid of that one first. Just cutting it back to a stub which I can leave to point downwards. I'm trying to get the roots out of there. Trying to get all the ones out that I've cut. Although it does seem pretty tangled up in here. Can't even pull that through. Have to rip it through. There we go. There's a bit off there. Unfortunately, I don't really want to prune it too much at the moment. I don't want to disturb too many roots because it's actually got figs on it, although they probably won't live or survive through the winter. You never know. So I'm not going into any live wood, I'm just cutting off big chunky bits of dead wood and anything that points out. And just them couple of roots, and then I'll try and get it in that washing up bowl, sort of like that, hopefully. Should look better than it was kind of leaning right over. Well, that was quite interesting, it's taken up double the room because of how it was. So I get the pot and we'll see if we can get it in there. I'm just going to cut a few of these long ones right back. It won't really hurt the tree at all. The roots are kind of not really growing anymore. Not long and it'll be settling down for the winter, so it'll have a little bit of time to recover a bit and then it'll be fine. Gonna end up blunting in my secateurs doing this though. There's a lot of soil in there still. I feel it's crunching on the blades. Right, so that's all that I'm going to take off. Pop that over there. So I'll get the pot and we'll stick it in there. See how it looks. Should look pretty good. So it's not a particularly great shape as it is, but we can always change the shape later on. And it's quite interesting, I guess. So I'm going to put it up something like that, slightly over to the right, because it kind of wants to lean that way, and it looks quite good like that. So I get that soil in there. So I've got some soil and I've mounded it up in the middle. Because what I'm going to try and do is spread the roots out right from the bottom of the trunk and spread them out around in a circle around that mound. And then kind of wiggle it into it so it's at about the right height. And I won't bother doing too much, but I will make sure the roots are more or less going out radially, sort of like straight out from the trunk rather than twisting around and stuff. So I'll show you that. Probably can't even see what I'm doing. I'll bring you in a minute anyway. So kind of got it balanced up there, so all I'm going to do now is fill in with the soil and try and poke it in between all the roots and make sure it's properly in there, and the roots are spread out nicely. Right, so I'll just fill up the soil, try and hold it still. I forgot it was just balanced there then. But it'll be held still in a minute anyway. So I'll just press all the soil in between the roots and my fingers. Just work it in. You can kind of see it bounce, you know there's a hole underneath somewhere. When we water it, it'll wash through as well. So, but I want it to be able to stand up on its own, so I can let it go. It'll be a bit easier. Just rest the secateurs in there for now. So like I said, it's just grit mixed with compost and some of the old soil, which was just mud, I think. So there's plenty of stuff in there, and it should have plenty of drainage with all that grit. So there's no need to like refeed it as such at the moment or anything. And the fig trees don't really like overly fertile soil, I don't think, so I'll probably just water it well and leave it in the greenhouse through the winter. I'm hoping it'll grow a bit more now before winter comes. But it might not, it might kind of just die off for the winter now. Okay, so I'll probably put a couple of rocks on there for now, as I do. So I've got a few rocks here, I've got a couple of bigger ones down here. So I'm just going to put a few around it just to kind of weigh it down a bit around the roots and hopefully stop it getting knocked about as much. Also stops anything from wanting to dig in here, or it tears them a bit. And then I'll give it a good water. Wash off a chunk of it. And here's the pot. And then it's getting quite cool now, so I'll try not to water it too much from now on until it gets really dry, because otherwise we're not in the summer anymore, so it will end up rotting in there. So I'm just going to pop that there for a minute. Okay everyone, so there's the tree in its new washing up bowl pot. So we'll keep it in here for the rest of the winter now, but it's been in here anyway, so it hasn't been outside. But I would keep it in here anyway, even if it was outside for a few weeks, just to let it recover and all the roots to get into the soil, because it's quite wobbly at the moment. I don't really want things bumping into it and stuff, so protect it in here, and the rocks will help weigh down the soil around the roots. And I'll make sure it's watered, but the weather's getting a bit cold, so I won't water it unless it really needs it. I'll just keep it moist. So anyway guys, hope you found that interesting and useful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Hope you're all good. Okay guys, so it's starting to get dark now, so I'm done for the day. So we've got that in its new pot. I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're all good. See you on the next one.